Ooh, cheers, Marshall.
Cheers, Cameron. Good morning.
That was the best clink we've done, I think.
Out of the 20 we just tried.
Yeah, out of 20. Yeah, if you're listening right now, that was our 20th take at a good clink.
It's pretty close.
And a good cheers and a good slurp.
We forgot the order. We probably did it wrong.
Yeah, we did it all backwards. But, I don't know who I am today. You know what I mean?
It threw off the whole episode.
It's going to throw off the whole thing. That's okay, though. It's a different one.
We can talk about something else.
One. Let's just make it up as we go.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Average American American? You see what I'm saying? We're so average.
It's early, you guys.
To the Average Apologist podcast. Today's going to get a little weird. I can already tell. What are we talking about today, Marshall? What are we talking? What do we call this?
We're trying to figure out what to call
this.
But I think we agreed that we're going to call this bad masculinity.
Yeah, bad masculinity. We're tempted to call it toxic masculinity, but that's such a buzzword, and it's not really what we mean by it. But we're kind of going to talk about masculinity, and we want to preface with we believe masculinity is a good thing for men. Mm-hmm. But there is a bad version of everything, and there is bad traits that follow good things, can follow good things. So that's kind of going to be what we're going over today. Marshall, any beginning thoughts before we start diving into our 8 points of bad traits?
Yeah, I think this topic specifically is easy to talk about and hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Easy because it's too familiar.
Okay.
Hard because it's too familiar.
Okay. Oh, okay. I mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean,
I know what you mean by that.
Yeah, this is very convicting.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of this in me as far as like I'm drawn. It's easy for my flesh to kind of go into these pathways for bad masculinity, being a bad boy.
Yeah,
that's what it should be called.
Bad boys for life.
Bad boys.
Bad boys, dude.
Don't be a bad boy.
Don't be unless you're Will Smith or Martin Lawrence. Yeah, and you can do it 2 times.
They did it 3 times.
They did 3.
They did a 3rd one recently in the last couple of years.
Oh my goodness.
I never saw it. But no, bad masculinity.
Yeah, bad masculinity.
I think especially since specifically COVID era.
Oh, the angstiness came out.
Yeah. I know for me, 2020, I would say if people knew me growing up or in my college years, I would say it's safe to say I was a pretty easygoing, nice. I'd still say hopefully I'm this, but nice guy. And honestly, I would say I was even a pushover, very non-confrontational, and just wanted to keep the peace always. I'm a peacekeeper.
Yeah.
And so when COVID hit, and then right when after like 2-3 weeks was like, this is a bunch of crazy cuckoo stuff. I remember going into grocery stores. I remember specifically going into the Trader Joe's here in Boise, and I mean,
somewhere in the U.S.
Remote in the U.S.
Yeah.
In Idaho.
Yeah.
Southern Idaho.
Totally.
I mean,
yeah.
Planet Earth.
Somewhere on planet Earth.
Yeah. But running into, I was rocking one of those clear plastic shield masks.
Yeah.
Because I was so rebellious and hardcore. And I remember the manager, the captain came in. That's what they call the managers at Trader Joe's.
That's kind of cool, actually.
The captain,
yeah.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
But the captain came over to me, and he says, "Hey, man," and he said it pretty nicely too, with his mask on, so it was a little muffled. But he's like, "You got to put on a different mask." Yeah. And I was like, "Why?"
Yeah.
You know, immediately I was almost like fishing for a fight.
Challenge me.
Yeah.
To a duel.
And if we're talking on the logic
Like
game,
you brought your jousting stick in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually handed him a pair of boxing gloves. I was like, "Let's go."
You wear boxing gloves when you joust?
No, no. When
That's
I shop,
confusing.
when I shop at Trader Joe's.
Oh, it's just so you don't not to touch everything? Is that what it is?
You should see me trying to grab things off the shelf, especially eggs. It's not good.
You gotta check them, you know?
Yeah. No, but I was just fishing for a fight, and I would say I beat him over the head with logic and reasoning, not with my gloves.
Yeah, you gave him your discourse.
Yeah, and then kind of similar thing. I went over to Albertsons.
The Marshallette discourse.
Nice. No, I went to Albertsons, and I actually got into it with the dudes over there.
You like immediately just walked over to Albertsons and started fighting them too?
Actually, I went to Trader Joe's after I went to Albertsons, straight up.
You got everything you need to go home, but you're like, let's just go feel it out.
No, you know what's funny is I remember I got into it with this. There was a security check at Albertsons, like a security guard.
Yeah, to make sure you're
complying with the mask. And I just kept walking because that was security guy was talking to an employee.
Yeah,
and I knew what they were doing. They were there to check us in,
make sure you're
complying.
Yeah.
And I just walked right by them.
That's a hard job, dude.
Yeah, sure. I look back now
because a lot of them, like I know people who had that job and they hated it, but they were just told to do it.
Yeah,
and it was like, depending on what state you lived in or where,
for sure.
Yeah,
but I kept walking. I kept walking into the store, and then they're like, "Hey, man, hey!" Like freaked out, and they're like, "You gotta have a mask on." And I was like, I can't remember what I said exactly. Thank God, but I kind of got into it, and I gave it to him, and then I was like, forget this. I'm going to Trader Joe's.
Forget y'all.
And then I went to Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
And I put my mask on.
Put your mouth visor on.
I knew. I was like, where else am I going to go? You know?
Yeah.
But all that to be said, I think in a lot of other ways, more than one, I think during that COVID year, 2020, it really brought out this like nature inside of me that really just wanted to fight. And because I was right, I would say rightly so irritated and
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
With all the bogus that was going on,
for sure.
And so I think I was just ready to. I was like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
and which was abnormal for my typical character, I'd say.
Well, I think there's more to it than that too, because I think you along with most other men, I feel like in our country in that time, probably got a lot of worldview change that year.
Yes.
And so
I didn't even have a firm view on anything political.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think I did.
Yeah.
You know?
But I know like I had a cage stage for sure. Like I was pretty, when you get red pilled into a different worldview, a different philosophy, different value system, all that stuff. You can be pretty merciless right off the bat because you're just done with it. You're done with people talking about it. You're done with people pushing it on you. Like you're just, and it took so much for you to get to that point.
For sure.
For me at least, that it was, I didn't handle it well. And I would say compared to like the guys around me, I handled it very well. But I didn't handle it well either. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So that's like how bad everyone was. I felt like it was just hostile. It was tense. But no, I totally get you. I'm with you on it. There's actually one of our points is kind of that.
Yeah.
Is that I think our second point, dude. Nope. One of them. Oh, going too far. All right.
Well, I think even for me, because our first point, we're going to talk about kind of like go over kind of like the pendulum swing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have a whole episode on the pendulum swing.
Just in general.
In general, not even just this topic. Like
totally.
Like how to watch out for the pendulum swing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of the result of the pendulum swing is what we're talking about today.
Right. And I think most men, I would say in the last, maybe over the past, most men's lives, some men maybe have this swing in their life, if you will.
Make a swing in the backyard?
Yeah, tire swing.
Just build the swing and they're just out there by themselves.
No, but the pendulum swing, I think, specifically since 2020, I would say I've noticed a lot of Christian men, I would say a lot of Christian men, I've seen them swing from kind of more the gentle side. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking more from my experience, but more to this brash, bitter.
Yeah, those are also things we're talking about today.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the pendulum swing. They overcorrect.
Right.
That's kind of what we're talking about is today is an overcorrection to to masculinity.
Right.
And I think man, it's so weird. Like I felt a lot of pressure even just writing what I wrote today, because if you say anything negative to masculinity, it sounds like you're
against it.
You're against it. And I'm like, no.
Very much for it.
Like go listen to our episode on male headship, masculinity. I think it's like Hebrews 6, male headship and fatherlessness or something like that. Fathers in the home. And we did one on radical feminism. Like we're very pro masculinity.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, 100%.
100%. But we're also Christians.
Yeah.
And just the Bible warns us about the inclinations and the leanings of men. Pride, greed, laziness, cowardice, these things that we need to check and not keep vague. And that's, I guess, what we're doing today is just not being vague about it.
Yeah, what is masculinity? Because I think that's
wow. What is a woman, Marshall?
Right. I don't know if I can answer that. No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like most of the country couldn't.
Like I'm not a. No, never mind. I was gonna make a joke. For the sake of what we're talking about today, because
nice.
I'm not gonna do it.
Look at that self-control.
Look at that. Just today.
But I think there's two views. Probably one pretty predominant view of masculinity, culturally, is that it's a negative.
It's bad.
Okay.
That it's ruined.
Right. Yeah. And then there's another view of masculinity that, there's just all sorts. I guess there's just all sorts of views of masculinity. You're gonna have the more woke, more progressive.
I think that's the
view
same as
of masculinity.
One. It's bad.
Correct.
It's one view,
but why it's bad?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, that varies.
And I would say that maybe men in the church would say that maybe the type of man and the traits that we're discussing now, they would say that the other side of the pendulum swing, which we can talk about maybe later, is bad. Do you know what I mean? So I think we need to nail down what is biblical masculinity. Who modeled biblical, godly masculinity?
Yeah, for sure. I got a couple scriptures.
Oh,
not a whole lot, but I got a couple on like actual like good examples.
Nice.
The rest is kind of more just warnings not to be certain ways. But I think you can see good masculinity from beginning to end of the Bible, and you can see bad masculinity from beginning to almost end of the Bible.
I would say, I would say exactly from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And honestly, like last time I read First and Second Samuel, it really stuck out to me, like the contrast between Saul and David.
Dude, I knew you were going there.
And that's more of just like leadership. Like if you want to learn about good leadership and bad leadership, go read that story. It is just fresh again. Just read it in that lens, because it kind of blew me away how much today I see a bunch of Sauls. I've known a lot of Sauls. I've interacted with Sauls, and their leadership style is so different than David's. David is like, I will go with you into this camp. We will sneak together.
Yeah.
His men's respect, like he cared for his men. Where
Self-control.
Saul was like, just protect me, get 400 or so, and just surround me, and I'll sleep in the middle. Get the strongest men. I don't care if they're the most faithful men. Just get the strongest ones. Like his leadership style was totally different, and even though Saul was masculine, even though he was a strong man, he wasn't in a lot of ways. He wasn't a good one. He was he was a coward, really.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Look at when David fought Goliath.
Who's Goliath? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, and think about what I could be wrong here, but wasn't Saul like he was a pretty tall guy too?
Yeah, he was like about your height.
Cool. He was a Nephilim.
Well, no, that I think they assume that he's about like 6'6" or something like that.
Wow, dude! So he's got a couple inches on me.
So he was taller than the average Jew.
So if I wear like tall boots,
Yeah.
Like Saul boots, I could be.
Saul boots.
Yeah, because
no, but I think they in the Jewish eye they would have seen Saul physically in the appearance of very masculine, right?
Yeah, and this little shepherd boy,
right,
that plays music,
yep,
comes out and slays the giant,
right,
for sure.
And I would also say that a lot of people assume like they point those characteristic traits in David as being masculine alone.
Alone, you can't.
Do you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's such a small part of him,
dude. King David is full on. But I think it was before he was king, but he's like playing his harp.
Dude, he was king before he was king.
He's playing his harp, and then a lion comes up, and he's like, he's singing. You
I'll
know,
just kill this lion.
Yeah, he's singing to the Lord. You know, and then all of a sudden puts his harp down, and then he kills this lion.
Yeah.
What's more masculine than that?
For sure. You can't skip over that.
Yeah, he's doing both.
Yeah.
I would say what a lot of men are more uncomfortable with is sometimes singing in church.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then
and there's like and I agree that there is like a femininity to a lot of modern worship.
Yeah.
But David played the harp.
Yeah.
It's a pretty soft instrument.
Totally. I don't think
and it's beauty.
Yeah, he's not plugging that in and playing Stairway to Heaven. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. On the harp.
I think I like this one.
Did you give him a British accent?
I don't know why. Was that? I don't know. I don't do a good accent.
This one.
Okay. Let's get into our first one, man. All right, first one. So bad traits. We're going through some bad traits in bad masculine overcorrection. In the result of the pendulum swing. Bitter and complaining is the first one. This is a bad trait. A little summary is this type of man is this is the type of man who is enslaved to his own complaint of others. He has no self-control over his outspoken monologues. Even if he reached enlightenment in the more recent years, he expects others to intimately know the inner workings of his worldview and to have already arrived to his own convictions. He justifies his behavior by pointing to the absurdity of other broken worldviews and his weaponized charge of societal masculine oppression. He goes from solely caring about the opinions of others to not caring about them at all, from one rebellion to another. That's a good summary.
Yeah, did you write that?
Okay, so I wrote that, but we talked about this yesterday a little bit. I feel like this was so easy to write because I'm guilty of everything we're talking about.
And this is just you.
Yeah, like this. Like I thought of
this is just you.
There's no one else that struggles with this.
Not me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like it's really easy to come up with these because I've thought exactly this way.
Totally.
And this is kind of what we talked about in the beginning. When you first kind of come out of that, like progressive, or I would say like I definitely was a little I was left for sure. Leaning,
yeah,
but it was more just like a peaceful pseudo neutrality.
Right. Me too.
Yeah, it was like like you said, I just want peace. I just want things to work out. Like, I
don't want to take a stance on this on certain things. Or if I did, it's like, well, I can dabble in both.
Sure,
I can agree to disagree,
or just like like that's irrelevant. And like, okay, well, all the world's problems are not irrelevant here.
Yeah,
like there's actual problems that we got to talk about and work through. And presuppositions behind every solution. And if you don't know those presups, then you're just going to go with whatever solution in the moment you're either pressured to do or, feel the most convicted about emotionally. But I remember, just like you said, when I first kind of swung out of that is you're a little bit harsh, and specifically the part about you expect other people to be where you're at. Yeah. Like Pastor Matt actually brought this up the other day to me. He said, when we were talking about eschatology, or I think we were talking about eschatology, led into this, but he was essentially saying like, it's often those who like come out of a theological framework, go to a different one. For some reason, right away, they're hostile towards others in that same view they just had. Oh, yeah. Which it's like, okay, so let's say you're dispensational for 30 years, and then you go mill, and now you're like, oh yeah, they're dumb. Like, dude, you spent 30 years saying that was correct. Yeah. And you have no grace for those in that position. Like, you can't walk them through you're just attacking, you know?
I kind of felt that way when I saw, like, when I came from dispensationalism into like more like a covenantal theological framework.
Me too.
You know, like no, 100%. Like, there's no.
Please continue.
That's so good. No, but there's like this. Yeah, exactly what you said. There's this expectation that people ought to arrive exactly where you are with this view or whatever, without allowing the grace that's been given to you.
Yeah,
and showing that grace to other people who are not there yet.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I think a lot of it too is like, usually what it does is it creates, I shared a while ago in an episode, like I got into it. I wanted to, like, when I was becoming more Calvinistic, I was looking for a
you're in
debate.
your cage stage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
you're ready to throw down.
For me, I felt so confident in the doctrines of grace.
Yeah.
And so when my brother-in-law came over, I knew he wasn't Calvinistic. And so I was like, dude, let's just go.
Let's just push his buttons.
Because I want, and there was like this intent where I actually did genuinely want him to not just see my side, but to convert to my side.
But you wanted to play rough.
Yeah, I wanted to play rough for sure. And that type of immaturity, to kind of be more specific to what I think it is.
Yeah,
that's
a good word. It is immature.
Yeah, I think it's just immaturity, because then you're not able to see that you yourself were in those shoes.
Yeah, it's like you just forgot all the time you spent in that stream of thought.
Yeah,
is now gone.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think allowing grace, and like, whenever I have, like, let's say I have a confrontational conversation, whether it's a lighthearted one or a heavy-hearted one, I try not to be, not just pushy. I don't want to use the word pushy, but I want to.
You want to be helpful.
Yeah.
You want to.
Thanks for helping me find that word.
You're welcome. You're not a teacher, but you are a teacher in a way. Like you're always able to teach something to help someone come to a better conclusion. Like it's like you've had bad teachers in your life too, that are actual physical teachers, and some who have had this kind of attitude, and they're your worst teachers. You just don't like them because they're not actually helpful. But when you get a teacher who enjoys helping you turn the lights on,
that person's way more prone to learn from them.
Way more prone. And it's like, in the conversation, I've found can even become a really fruitful, edifying, peaceful one, even with someone you are in a completely different worldview with, because you can just talk and reason and ask questions and kind of push back in a really respectful way.
Yeah.
And we'll get to more even into that in a future point on this episode. But really, like, the bitter complaining, like I know it's, dude, like, seeing the world, it's easy to just see all the problems and complain. And I think, like, complaining without doing something is a really bad thing scripturally. Like, we're not called to just look at the world and say that's ugly and walk away. If we're walking by someone or something, some situation, and we see something out of place that's really bad going on, like, we're called to take action. And that's kind of our job. And we the dominion mandate, we believe in. Christ has commanded us, God has commanded, even in Genesis, to subdue the earth. That's part of the dominion mandate in Genesis.
And Matthew 28.
Yeah, and in Matthew, yep, it's reiterated for sure. Great Commission, but we are created to have dominion in the right way, and we're not called to stand by and just point and say, yeah, someone else go do it. And there's the overcorrection there, where it's like, yeah, if you're not dominating in every situation, you're a failure.
Right.
That's not what we're saying. That's the pendulum swing again. But just like it's easy to turn on the news and complain. It's easy to hear or to drive downtown sometimes and to see all the pride flags, to see what's going on down there, to see the pro-death group out there with signs for
To be clear,
quote unquote,
abortion.
abortion for quote unquote women's rights. That's really sad. And honestly, we should have compassion in the sense of they're completely deceived. They're broken.
They're blind.
They're blind. They're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
And I was dead once.
Yeah, dude.
They need salvation. They need light. They
Yeah.
can't see, so reason knowing you're reasoning with someone who's blind and they need Christ.
And also, why are you reasoning? Like there's that specific, example, like with abortion, like it's easy to see the problem, which is mothers are murdering their children,
and men are taking them to it,
right? And just initially seeing that woman as the murderer
and promiscuity before that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a whole domino.
Yeah. But it's easy to go talk to someone who's walking into Planned Parenthood or whatever, and see that woman as a Jeffrey Dahmer or like a monster. It's easy to do that, right? Because she's about to go murder her child, go offer her child to Molech.
To Moloch, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's also easy to see her as a victim. The pendulum swing.
Dude.
There's the pendulum swing.
There's the pendulum swing.
Right there.
But
she ain't a victim, people.
I think what it is yes, what that mother is doing is monstrous.
Yeah.
It's evil, and it's nothing new. It's been this type of child sacrifice has been going on for centuries, since the beginning of time. Really.
Since the beginning.
And so it's easy to see that as an element when, dealing with someone who's going to have an abortion.
Yeah.
But the other side of that, which should coincide, is seeing that woman, that the father and mother, like you said, are dead in their sin and blind.
Yeah.
And they need Christ to open up their eyes. And so when we, rather than just being bitter and,
yelling at them.
Yeah, complaining to them.
Well,
we ought to share the gospel with them.
Yeah.
Right?
And call them
First.
to repentance.
Yeah, they can't make the right decision without Christ.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if they don't come to Christ, it's by God's grace that they don't make that decision.
They can't even see truth without the Spirit.
Yeah.
Amen.
So
yeah. But refrain from being bitter and complaining. Bittering now, that's the new word, right?
Bitter takes root too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're bitter towards someone or something, if it's like a weed. And if you not marijuana, but if it's like a weed that gets into your lawn and it just grows and then it just develops in your heart and basically just takes over.
It takes over, yeah.
It takes over your mind, and I think you can't allow room for bitterness. We're called to forgive. We're not to be pushovers.
No. Pendulum swing.
But I'm not like with the weed example. I could allow the weeds to grow.
Yeah.
Or I can cut it and get it out.
Yeah.
Recognize, there's weeds. I need to pull those out. You know what I mean?
Also don't look and just say, oh yeah, there's too many weeds.
Right.
My yard's just full of weeds. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, no, you take responsibility.
Get to work.
Be manly.
Yeah.
Start pulling weeds.
Yeah.
Start tending to your garden. You need to take care of your heart. You need to discern your own heart. And that's actually one we'll go through too. But I got some scriptures here. And actually I was thinking of one I didn't write down as you said that about in Hebrews. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it talks about beware lest any bitter root of unbelief rises up, departing from the living God. Like that bitter root that grows in that bitterness will turn into, eventually, if you don't pull those weeds, that will turn into departing from the living God.
Oh yeah, that'll kill you.
Yeah, it'll kill your outward faith, right? At least what you appear to have, it will kill it.
Yeah.
Philippians 2:14-15 says, do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God, without blemish, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. Psalm 142:1-2 says, with my voice I cry out to the Lord. With my voice I plead for mercy to the Lord. I pour out my complaint before him. I tell my trouble before him. That's good because a man is allowed to complain to the Lord.
Right.
And that's where here's the thing, man, is like there's a place for all these things. You just got to find where that place is, you know. We're supposed to complain to God. I think, and I'm convicted of this because I'm a complainer, like really bad. And actually, I gossiper too. Like I didn't even write this down, but gossip, dude. That's like a really.
We always throw that on the women.
Dude, that's such an embarrassing sin. That's like probably my biggest struggle.
Really?
As a sin. One of them is gossip. Yeah, I just talk, and I mean to. I'm not even gonna see what I'm trying to do. I tried to just divert. I didn't mean to. No, I do mean to.
Yeah, take responsibility.
I take responsibility for that.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a place for complaining. There's a place for this, but it's not to just grumble for the people around us. Also, think about how negatively it impacts everyone around you when you just sit there and grumble. It's easy to grumble. That's the easiest thing you could do is look at the world, go bad, bad, not good, and complain and do nothing and get up and go to get a sandwich or go up and, buy a bagel, whatever. Like, that's not what we're called to do. You like my sandwich one?
I like the bagel one more.
Do you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's not, I think a sign that we're complaining to others means we're not complaining to God.
Yeah, we haven't taken it to him.
And a sign that we're complaining to God is that we don't complain to others. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like hearing this because
yeah,
I'm really guilty.
And the complaining just then harbors bitterness.
Well, yeah, or just like
because if you're going to other people rather than God, what are you doing?
Well,
you're just throwing more of those bitter seeds,
dude. And I complain to my wife all the time.
Sure.
About my day, about how tired I am, about I didn't this, that, whatever. It's like it's so easy, and it's actually. Men, listen here. It's not attractive to your spouses when you complain. It's not. And we want to be attractive to our spouses for the whole marriage, not just the first 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's got those first, well, not everyone. A lot of people got those first 3 years where like they're in their prime, and then it just goes away. They get loose. They stop caring. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the intentionality is gone.
Yeah.
I think and women, we've talked about this before, women feel that pressure to stay appealing all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
Men
get lazy.
More and more and more loosen up. They pop their feet up, they let their belly hang out. And it's like they grab a beer and they burp and their wife's like, "Oh, like are we going to be intimate later?" Like I don't want to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's complaining does that. Complaining is just leaning back, just letting that gut out, letting out a big belch, popping open that Bud Light. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, first off, you're
still
Bud Light.
buying
That's
Bud
disgusting.
Light. Yeah. But anyway, don't complain, people. All right, next point. Brash, crude, and rude.
Brash, crude, and rude.
All right. A man who converts his worldview from a progressive one to a stream of conservative thought then becomes unrestrained and unbridled in the way he uses his words. Careless words and slander are his bread and wine during his daily love feast. Though he was once hypersensitive in his vernacular, he now welcomes irreverent offenses. He sees any potential restraint to be put upon his coarse jesting as a liberal or legalistic threat and gateway back into the matrix.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
That one, and you don't even have to have come from a progressive ideology or liberal worldview. You could have just always kind of been there. But the course, think about comedy.
Yeah.
How irreverent comedy can be.
Yeah.
Or just, honestly, I'm guilty of this too. Like sometimes my jokes are like so 15-year-old boy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Or language. I think about this, like, and I see a rise in this since our 2020 situation in our country too, is that like men look for opportunities to curse and then to say it's allowed.
Yeah,
scripturally,
I'm justified.
I'm justified. Yeah, and it's like I feel like looking for those opportunities to justify it. I'm like, that's not really genuine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't really judge someone's heart. I don't know someone's heart, but I feel like the fiery, feisty, edgy kind of attitude is just, I see that a lot as well. I think, and you could say because Paul said scubala, or, like you can say those things.
To be clear to people, doesn't that mean dookie?
doo-doo,
right?
Poop. I think so.
Right.
Means
Scubala,
human waste.
something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what, right?
Yeah, and then Isaiah talks about, our righteousness is as filthy rags.
I mean,
That's
didn't we just
menstrual rags.
Didn't we just read in our last episode Matthew 23? Was it 23?
Yeah.
When Jesus calls them brood of vipers?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Like,
so, yeah.
You just basically said you're the
Snakes.
devil.
You snakes, devils.
Which would have been a huge diss track
diss.
towards.
But here's the thing with Jesus. First of all, he's perfect. Second of all, he used it rightly. I'm not saying there's no place for it. I ain't giving you no pendulum swing right now.
No, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like, it's not that there's not
ever a time
to be very direct and call something for what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't beat around the bush. Don't on the pendulum swing. Lighten the blow when it doesn't call for that.
Well, yeah, and what I think too, even with like I mentioned the hypersensitivity with language, think about like the LGBTQ community, or transgenderism. Like, man, we're hitting all the topics on this one. Yeah, I didn't mean to,
man.
But like when you're on one side, you honor all of them. You try to conform to whatever they want you to call them. If they want to be a sheep or a lizard, which is a real thing. Like that's it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not joking. I'm serious.
Right,
it's, but it is.
You're not trying to mock them.
I ain't mocking right now, but it sounds like it because it's silly. But
and it's easy to mock.
It's easy to mock. That's the thing. Yeah. And I don't think there's never time for mocking because Elijah mocked the prophets of Baal.
Yeah, he did.
And their false god. You know what I'm saying? That's not anti-scriptural either. But if I just want to, because I just don't care, and I could justify, if you say I can't, you're just woke or liberal or whatever it is, right? Is that the machine? Nice. No one's going to hear that. But there's a difference between, calling this woman he, him, they, whatever,
okay,
because they want you to, that hypersensitivity, to then walking up to them and saying you're stupid and no one cares and you're lying to everybody. I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. There's something in the middle. It's not the pendulum, or you can just say, I'm not going to participate in that. I respect you though, but I'm not going to comply.
Right.
What can I do for you? What can I get you?
And just to be clear, because there is this pendulum swing that we keep referring to, and it's not like we're not asking people to be in the middle.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not like this. We're not saying there's a neutral ground.
But there is a road.
There is a road
to every right way.
Yeah, but it's not trying to be neutral.
It's not balance.
Right.
Yeah.
What it is What it is it's trying. Like, there's a path of, I would just say, path of righteousness.
Right.
Right. And it's being able to discern, right? It's wisdom, which is the knowledge applied, right, from the scriptures of how to respond, maybe even to the same argumentation, right, or problem, if you will. But being able to discern where, like, for example, if we talk about types of apologetics sometimes. Okay, this is kind of a different topic, but like if I'm talking to an atheist, I'm hitting them with the precept, okay, in which basically we'll talk more about atheism,
we'll get into apologetics in that later,
but I'm gonna give them presuppositional apologetics. Okay, I'm gonna ask them certain questions that is particular to that person's worldview, right, to show, whereas if I'm talking to, let's say, a Mormon, who already has a belief in a lot of gods. Yeah.
You're going to enter in a different, a different window.
Yes, but my tactic is the same.
Yes. Your goal is the same.
Goal is the same.
Your tactic changes, actually.
Actually, thank you. But regardless, it's discerning what is the need. There is a need regardless for the people I'm reaching to, whether I'm ministering to my family. Each of my children respond to things differently. And we don't necessarily tolerate sin. Well, no, we never tolerate sin. We're called to remove that, right? So I think what it is being able to discern how to
Be effective.
and
Be necessary.
be able to effectively share the gospel by our actions, right? And with our words. And I think that's what's hard, is being able to discern how to do that. I think oftentimes we just take one approach and just copy and paste that onto every circumstance and everyone, and it's out of this this pride, I would say.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. And it's assuming let's say it is someone who's transgender. Like, not every transgender person thinks exactly the same. Their worldview is probably almost the same.
Sure.
But they're cut from the same cloth. But you can go up to one. One's going to be hypersensitive. Well, I don't know. They might all be sensitive, but they're not the same person. And so what you're trying to do is discern, like, how can I be effective here? You're thinking missionally. You're thinking it's not a game. It's not I can say what I want and get away with it because I'm not going to lie.
Right.
Don't lie still.
Right.
Right. But also be effective.
Right.
Also, like, what does this person need? How can I have a conversation that can actually be fruitful out of this? How can I not bend the knee to the cultural God and still be an effective witness here? You know what I mean? And it's not even just, I didn't just have in mind, LGBT, but just like this, even, even just amongst Christians, I think like the coarse jesting, like the joke and the mocking of everybody around us is really easy to do.
Yeah.
To see other worldviews because they're dumb, to make fun of them.
Sure.
And it's like that's also someone made in the image of God.
Yeah. Yeah, we forget that.
We forget that. It's easy
that
to all the time.
Somehow we forget
like every word of the scriptures.
Yeah, well, and just forget like where we came from. The shoes, the dead corpse we once were.
Oh, dude, you were so dead. Like I was.
I was very dead, dude.
Some scriptures for that: Colossians 3:8. But now you must put them all away: anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk from your mouth. Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt talk come from your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as it fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Ephesians 5:4. Let there be no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking, which are out of place, but instead let there be thanksgiving.
Nice.
Yeah,
oh, that's good, dude.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's just a good holiday.
No, but I think just continually being in can you at the end of your day give thanks?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I try to get in the habit with my family when we're praying every day. To like sometimes when I ask the boys, my boys to pray, I'm like, they'll be like, I don't know what to pray for. And I'm like, is there anything you can just thank God for?
Yeah.
And then it's like the list. They're like they have a million things. I think that's good for us men to be in a state of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for sure.
Not turkey, but
and also like, here's the thing: like, it's easy to look at someone else and say they're stupid, but also know like you're stupid.
Yeah.
Like just straight up, like man is dumb. Compared to God, we are knowledgeless.
Yeah.
We have nothing. Like we're going to stand before him one day and we're going to confess we're stupid.
Yeah.
I know nothing. I have no wisdom. I have no glory. I have nothing. Everything I have was given to me by God. And that I think is what stirs up Thanksgiving, is that you're thankful that God has given you understanding
and mercy.
But as we'll bring up later, right? Thank God I'm not like that sinner. That's not the attitude to have, right? Next one is coercive leadership, right? And we kind of hit on this earlier. One who places his burden of servitude onto those around him. Focused on results, he chooses to forget that he is also called to lay down his own self for others and positions his seat on the backs of those he's commanded by Christ to serve. He tends to care more about success and dominion than the success of his heart and dominion over his evil ways. His leadership is by compulsion rather than example.
Wow.
Right?
Well written.
Thanks, dude.
Cameron's a
Stop.
great writer. Some publisher needs to pick him up.
No, dude, you need to keep me humble, dude. Tell me I suck.
You stink.
Thanks, man.
No, I think that's huge. I feel that sometimes. Like, sometimes when I'm trying to rule righteously, I would say, over my home.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so focused on the results.
Yeah.
Right, of my children's obedience.
Yeah.
I demand it.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you have the right
which is
to.
great. It's a command.
Yeah. Real
Right.
quick, Marshall, before you finish that, don't lose this.
Okay.
The pendulum swing.
Yeah.
One side says, do only as I say, not as I do, because I don't do. The other side says, don't do. You don't have to do what I say, but only do as you see me do.
Right.
That's the two extremes.
Right.
Be like me in the sense of like follow my character traits.
Right.
You're trying to just be an example.
Right.
You can never make demands. The other side says you just be demanding. Be a tyrant.
Yeah.
Right. That's the two extremes. You need them both.
Totally. I think what I often do will just I'll have like certain days or weeks where I'm like, okay, my kids are really disobedient, so I kind of get more tyrannical over my home, which is not when it's needed. Like if my children are out of line, then
you need to be hard.
I'm commanded
there's a time to be
discipline,
hard. Yeah.
right? And so, anyways, but sometimes what happens in my heart is I'm so it gets misplaced. What happens? My frustration, because I will see their disobedience and get mad that they're not producing the result that I long for. It's good, and it's good that I want their obedience, and that I ultimately want their obedience to Christ.
Yeah,
that is my desire. And so when I see that they're out of line, I can grieve over that. What's not good? Okay, again, this is like finding that narrow road, if you will, where you're not playing the neutral card, but you're trying to observe what is it that God has called us to do in obedience and righteousness, is where I can recognize like certain times in my heart as a dad or as a husband, I demand these things, and when I don't see those things, I just want them to simply do those things rather than see a heart change. Just say, you're doing this wrong, obey me. And it's like, okay. Or is it I said don't jump on the couch, right? I should explain to them why, in grace.
Well, I think it's fine to actually command them not to.
Sure.
Then explain to them.
Oh, 100. Yeah.
Like you can still say obey me.
Yeah.
And then once they obey you, you can explain.
Yeah.
You don't have to stop there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm so focused sometimes on just the results, without actually examining are they simply being obedient out of fear?
Yeah.
Or is it because they love me?
Well,
and they love God.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. Revere you. Yeah. And
right.
Honestly, it's hard because even when you say that, you already hear the pendulum swing.
Yeah.
Fear is bad.
Right.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Fearing God, we're commanded to fear God.
Yeah.
We're also commanded to not be afraid of him.
We can boldly approach him.
Yeah. And he, we won't shrink back on the day of his approaching. That's 1 John 3, I believe, or 4. So we don't have to be afraid of God in the sense, especially because we're regenerate. We're chosen now. We're given new life. Yeah. We're given mercy. We don't need to be afraid of wrath, but we do fear God. And in the same way, like you as a father, you want to be feared by your children to a level, as in they revere you, they respect you, your words are weighty, your ways are, there's like the word being thrown around everywhere right now is gravitas, right? You need gravitas. I need gravitas. You need to have like a gravity that pulls you in, that pulls your children in, but they are hanging on your words. Like it's like when you're, your grandfather or someone, like you have that guy, that storyteller in your life, and everyone's like just like hanging on his every word as he's telling these stories. They love to hear him because there's gravitas, there's weight to everything he says, and it's impactful. You want that, and you can't fake that.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? You can't just magically wave a wand and it gets. You actually have to earn it, and you have to work for it.
Yeah. It's respect.
It's respect in your kids and everyone around you. Your wife too. Like, dude, that's that's one for sure. Because I think, I have some scriptures here. I don't even think I need to read all of them. I can just reference some. But, Mark 10:42-45 says, "And Jesus called them to him and said to them, 'You know that those who are considered rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant. And whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many.'" I love that one. Now, I quoted just a minute ago from the book It's Good to Be a Man.
Great book.
By Michael Foster and Non-Tenant. But I actually have a quote from Non-Tenant that I just really hate. And so I thought it'd be good to throw in here. This is a quote from Non-Tenant. He was the co-author. He says, quote, "Tell her what you want for lunch. Turn requests into commands. Can you make me a sandwich?" becomes, "Can you make me a sandwich?" Although that's still a question if we're being honest, It's not the words, it's the tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that class. I feel like this, in my opinion, this is the pendulum swing.
Yeah.
Like, you went from, the Bible says, wives submit to husbands. There's honor in calling them lords, as Sarah did Abraham. Like, those are virtuous things. Yes, that the man is the head of his wife. However, he's taking that as a license now to not treat her as the weaker vessel, to not treat her with dignity and respect, to not discern her heart necessarily, or her state, or her emotional well-being. You know what I mean? I also have below it from I'm in a Reformed Wellness and Health group on Facebook, and a guy, I'll just have to describe this because you can't see it, whoever's listening, but it's a man wearing a child on his chest in like a little, what do you call this?
It's like a wrap.
It's a wrap. I forget there's a name for it.
I don't know. It's a swaddle.
Anyway,
No,
it's not a swaddle. It's like you just wrap around. It's a
baby carrier.
Yeah, it's a baby carrier. But I used this one like one time, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got his arm up. He's shown his guns, and he says, "Third child is under a week old. My wife is tired and sore. The kitchen needs a deep clean. Time to do what is manly and be Mr. Mom for my family." I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, he's taking dominion of his home. He sees the state of his wife. He understands the weak points in his house, and he's not playing games. He's like, cool, I'll fill those holes. I'll go fix the leaks. I'll go do whatever needs to be done. I'll do the dishes, clean the kitchen, let the wife sleep, sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
He's not going, oh, well, technically, wife, I know you just had a child, but you're supposed to do the dishes. So I'm actually not even going to ask. I'm just going to turn it into a command.
Right.
Like, he didn't.
Yeah. It's the tone.
It's the tone. He didn't do that. He was like, cool, there's a problem. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
That's his leadership style.
That's yeah.
That's the best. And guess what? Because he does that, that's his way. His wife now, what's going to happen naturally?
She's going to respect him.
And what else?
Love him.
And naturally, she's going to start doing more things.
Sure. Right. Because
she's going to go, shoot, like, I need to keep up. Like, he's doing the stuff. Like, I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be, well, hopefully that's the result. If not, you can, you talk to your wife.
Yeah.
But it's this, it's almost like a man is not allowed to touch a butter knife and some bread and some meat and some lettuce and tomato maybe.
Wow.
Put it together, wrap it up, cut it in the middle.
Make a sandwich.
Pickle. Yeah.
For his family.
For sure. It's just like, really? Like, but grilling's fine.
You
know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You got that grill, like, you're seeing manly still, but you got that butter knife.
Yeah.
That's not your place.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's an extreme. It's wild. Also, again, back to attraction. Like, I'm just practical here. I think if I'm a tyrant in my home, that's an often sign of insecurity. Oftentimes, that's not attractive to your wife.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be attracted to you. go ahead and do it. She's not going to be attracted to you.
Yeah.
If you see, dude, I love, look at Gladiator.
Yeah.
You think, was it Maximus Decimus Meridius?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Anyway, look how he's honored amongst his men.
Mm-hmm.
Can he make demands?
Yeah.
Yes. But does he? When necessary. More often than not, there's a problem. I'm just going to go fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll lead my men into this battle. I'll do this.
Yeah.
You're going to help? Awesome. You do this. Someone I actually really like on this kind of topic is Jocko Willink.
Okay.
And he's not, I don't know how Christian he is. I know he reads the Bible and believes in God and all that, but a lot of his stuff's just like military stuff. But his leadership is great, and it's that leadership from the bottom, that extreme accountability. Mm-hmm. I love that stuff. I feel like he's kind of the fixing the overcorrection there,
right?
You know, a couple other scriptures you can just reference is 1 Thessalonians 2:6-12, and then 1 Peter 5:2-4. Mm-hmm. Peter's reiterating what Jesus says to the other elders. You know, don't lord it over them, don't domineer them.
Yeah.
Be servants, and because you're going to stand before the chief shepherd,
right?
So be faithful shepherds. You know. Yeah, Marshall, any more on that one?
I think it just comes down to I think it's in Ephesians 6:5.
Oh, dude, we're gonna get there.
You know, husbands,
Both of
lay
those.
your wives down.
Yeah, lay them down.
Well, it's crazy. That's actually kind of that's kind of the pendulum swing.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
You accidentally,
yeah, you know what I mean?
Nailed that one.
It's kind of like what, happens is I think husbands lay their wives down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Rather than their lives, like they read it and they saw W instead of L. And they're like, sick.
I hate my dyslexia.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's what we're called to do.
Yeah.
That's being a good leader is, putting yourself in a situation of discomfort for the sake of your family.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking the blow.
Yeah.
Or taking, lightening the load for your family, not giving excuses for anyone in your family or at your work to be lazy. I remember my dad, he shared a story with me when he was, I want to say he was probably 13 or something, but he was asked by his grandfather who had cancer. Mm-hmm. And his grandpa was a manly man.
Yeah.
Okay, and his grandpa asked him to mow the lawn, and he kept going to play football with his friends instead. Mm-hmm. And so his grandpa asked him again. He's like, "Hey, I need you to mow the lawn." Yeah. And then he's like, "All right, I'll get to it." And then he goes out and he's playing football with his
grandpa
friends.
mow the lawn?
Dude, so
he came home, it was mowed, huh?
Dude, my dad just hears the lawnmower, and then he looks back and he sees his grandpa
with cancer.
Grandpa with cancer who's dying, shriveled, super scrawny, basically has no buttocks because of his cancer. There he is mowing. I think he had an acre or two, mowing the lawn, and my dad goes up to my grandma and says, "I'm so sorry. Let me do this." And my grandma says no, or my great grandma, she says, "No, you missed it. You have to let him to let him do it." And my dad sobbed. Yeah, watching his grandpa mow the lawn. And you know what? My grandpa said, "Nope. I'm doing it.
You lost your chance to serve."
Yes,
because serving is a privilege.
Yes,
not a right, not a burden.
Right. And my dad, that stuck with my dad for the rest of his life. And I've seen that modeled from him in my
that's
my
the
family.
Servant leadership. You were okay. Think about how many times he was able to, having authority, tell him to go mow the lawn.
Right.
So he exercised that right.
Right.
And then when compulsion, when just encouragement or steering him a certain way didn't work, okay, I'll do it. It needs to be done. I'll do it. And that had a greater effect than if he just got him in trouble and made him go out and do it. Right. He would have been angry, but because the grandpa did it, he was sad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
All right, next one. All right, the next one. Oh, where are we going? Okay. Outwardly strong, inwardly weak. This type of man focuses his efforts on the appearance of strength while containing little to no internal fortitude. He is morally and emotionally weak and sometimes bankrupt, but hides it behind opportune displays of strength. He is hypersensitive and is sensitive about that. His strength merely impacts the shell of his person, while the inside remains unstable and unnourished. His effort to feel and to look strong reveals his dependency on emotional validity from others. His hypersensitivity is emotional bondage.
Wow. Yeah, I think this hits hard for me because the appearance of strength is deeply desired in, I think, every man.
Yeah.
What that strength may look like to men, I think culturally looks different now.
Right.
I think there is a standard of strength that God holds us men to.
Yes.
But culturally we kind of warp that.
Right.
And I think, okay, so for those who don't know me, I am by no means David Hasselhoff.
You're more of a...
or Triple H.
Dang it, you got it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not Triple H.
I was going to say that, actually.
I know you were.
I was going to say Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Why would you do that? Triple H would destroy him.
In a second.
Yeah.
In a second.
Actually, I want to see that fight if Triple H is listening.
We call you both out and humbly request you fight each other.
But
you're
going to ask him to fight us.
No. Triple H would kill all three of us.
But, no, I think point being is like my physical stature. I am not.
You're no Shrek.
I am no Shrek. Unfortunately, but I think what leading a family, having children, having a wife.
Yeah.
There's you look at films like Gladiator, Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
You see these men who are warrior like,
pipe dream,
right? Totally.
It's our goal.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times I have to make up for the lack of strength that I feel like I don't have, or just practically don't have. And so,
and like the way you dress or what you do or whatever, right?
Yeah. And I think sometimes as a believer, what I've tried is, I'm being so raw right now. What is easy for me to do is to kind of like dress it and mask it in the name of Christianity, and like I read these books, or like I've thought deeply about theology in these areas, and like that appears to be strong, at least to me. And like when I see a man who is well versed in scripture, at least for me, I'm like, that dude, like I want to be like that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I want to appear to be strong to other people because I'm obviously not appearing to be strong in other areas of my life. As far as like, no one's asking me to help move a couch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so, that being said, I think what I do in my own insecurity is try to appear to be strong to my family, to my friends, to, other people by trying to, with the way I talk or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that is a slippery slope for me.
Yeah, man. And like, you realize like, hey, I'm not very masculine. So you go to correct that. And then now it's like, you feel like if you just like buy guns and grow a beard and, work out a ton, that like, I fixed that.
Yeah.
But you still suck on the inside.
Yeah.
That you didn't fix that.
Yeah.
You just put all your chips into one expression of it. That's just outward. Like it has to reach the inward man. Even Paul talks about this.
Yeah.
Even exercise. He says, 1 Timothy 4:8, well, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. Mm-hmm. Like it's, he sees it's a value, a virtue in physical exercise. That's awesome. Work out, take care of yourself, eat good, But if that's as far as you go, you've not dominated anything.
Yeah.
You have not won. You've lost, You've only made it more shameful that you're weak on the inside, that you can't handle adversity. You can't handle, you can't stand when it's hard, I think oftentimes these type of guys are actually ruled by vices,
Sure.
They struggle with
Pornography,
like a really bad pornography addiction. And, they haven't seen that as something to conquer, but they've seen their body as something to conquer, or the way they carry themselves. And so that's more important. That's top shelf, where inward godliness is a little lower on the shelf. And maybe even if it's one shelf, it might be one shelf lower, but it's still lower. And so you'll spend less time conquering that, less time in prayer, less time with men and accountability. I've seen that a lot, and I've been guilty of that. You know what I mean? Ephesians 3:14-16. For this reason I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named, that according to the riches of his glory he may grant you to be strengthened with power through his Spirit in your inner being, your inner man, that you'd have inward fortitude. And you see this in times of persecution. You see, look at those who are persecuted for the faith. Those people are strong.
Yeah.
People who don't bow the knee when they're said, repent or recant Christianity and worship Allah, whoever, or else we'll behead you.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's coming off.
Yeah.
That's strength.
Yeah.
Especially when they lose a lot even before that.
Yeah.
There's things they lost.
Sure.
That's strength, man. Like those guys may not be big guys, but they are so much stronger inwardly than any of the big guys I know.
Yeah.
And oftentimes a lot of...
Think about Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, dude.
Who?
Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego?
Oh, those vegetables?
Are you thinking about VeggieTales right now?
Yeah, I was just kidding.
You were thinking about VeggieTales.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I actually never really watched VeggieTales.
Sure, but...
Besides that episode. Yeah, everyone's seen that episode. Ephesians 6:10-17. Ready? Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand within the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand firm. Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and as shoes for your feet, having on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. In all circumstances, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. So that's be a warrior and fight the good fight of faith. Also point out that it's good too that God uses weapons as a symbol here for virtue, and that's okay to do. There's nothing like you can't, like if you like guns, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like guns, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But God uses a militancy here. Breastplate, sword, shield, shoes, helmet. You look like a soldier, that you're ready for bloodshed.
Yeah.
And he says, express that bloodshed and that ferociousness, that ferocity towards the rulers in the heavenly places, not towards your brothers.
Right.
So, dude, be manly in that realm. Take it up. Put it on. Be strong, right? Yeah. Here's example from the example, right, in our world today. Andrew Tate, right? Said the feeling of superiority is intrinsic to masculine contentment. You feel happy when you feel better than others. We've evolved to compete. You have to climb the highest mountain to breathe the fresh air. Otherwise, your air is the recycled breath of the average. And thankfully for us, like, this is the average. apologist,
Yeah.
not American podcast. And so, we like that average Jared. We read that all day.
Yeah.
But you can see the pendulum swing hard there.
Yeah.
Unless you feel better than those around you, you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not breathing fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't achieved anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message. That's a very strong overcorrection.
Right.
Right. Don't take after Andrew Tate, people.
Yeah.
He's actually great on some things. Like I've heard him say some things. I'm like, dude, that's on point.
Nice.
But so much of what he says is just this kind of really bad masculinity. Cool. Next one. Anything on that last one, Marshall?
No.
All right.
No.
All right. Unreasonable and divisive.
This one, dude.
This one. Everyone knows this man. He cannot handle adversity or challenge. He cannot disagree well. He is impatient and unhelpful. His friends are cautious to provoke him to wrath. Peace is not his priority, and unity is of little value to him. He is bored with fellowship and is perplexed by contrary opinions. He demands to be heard and refuses to listen. He often draws hard, unnecessary lines to simplify his rationale. He does not play well with others.
Dude, that one. Okay, I'm gonna level, and you know me pretty well. You and I are good friends.
Kind of. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Like, I have moments where I can be unreasonable.
Oh, of course, dude.
Okay.
Like 90% of the day.
I feel like I actually feel like, by the grace of God,
You're not a divisive man.
I feel like this is actually where I'm strong.
Yeah.
In the Lord.
Yeah, I actually
to be clear, like I feel like I'm fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
But and not to project this on other people because I'm stronger in this area, but whenever I also brought up the point earlier how I was trying to literally like beat my brother-in-law over the head with Calvinism.
Oh yeah.
But so I'm still human. I'm still a wretch.
Yeah.
Okay. But I do feel like this one frustrates me.
Yeah, because we've experienced the other side so much.
Yeah, when I'm trying to talk to another brother, especially when it's another brother, about whether
anything.
It's doctrine, about politics, about how a man ought to run his home or work, whatever it may be, when there's a certain point in the conversation, usually it's pretty early on in the conversation, in the dialogue, where I quickly realize this person's it's not worth the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth engaging any further because I know that this man is unreasonable. I can quickly discern, like,
oops, I poked the bear.
Okay, this person can't think objectively.
Yeah.
This person's not actually willing to hear
or
and listen.
Consider that there's been other views for a long time.
Okay, you're being very specific.
No, actually, I go on Twitter. That's usually the case.
Sure.
Go on YouTube's the worst, dude. Like
YouTube?
Twitter's the worst.
Twitter's
the worst. Yeah, but YouTube brings out the like basement people.
Yeah,
like the backwoods people. Like, who are you? What church are you part of? Like, oh, we're beyond churches. We just live in the woods by ourselves.
Yeah.
I go down to town to get internet and I type my discourse.
Nice.
And it's like everyone's a heretic because of this, and I've even engaged just subtly with people who kind of, I think, draw this line a bit, and they'll to suggest even that like polygamy is okay right now, and to promote it.
Yeah.
Of course, said it while not married. Now this person I'm thinking of is married, and he's a nice guy.
Sure.
Anyway, if he hears this, but divisive, very divisive. If you're a Calvinist, you're a heretic.
Yeah.
If once saved, always saved is from hell. Those kind of things. It's like, well, people have believed these, and if you're gonna just throw the heretic card out for anybody,
you gotta prove it.
Prove it.
You can't just throw that around.
And don't just prove it's not true. Prove it's heresy, because that's
it shows me. When someone just throws the heretic card around, like that, so loosely.
Yeah.
I'm like, you clearly either don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which I actually think most people who say that don't.
Yeah.
Or they just don't have a sound idea as to what is orthodox.
Yeah, and we see this a lot even in our camp, like our eschatological camp. If you listen to a lot of post-mill people talk, they can be extremely divisive.
Yeah, people in our camp.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
But like people that like so reasonable in so many ways, but you talk about this and like, oh yeah, everyone's stupid who's not post-mill.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, post-mill is newer. Like there's optimism that's old. There's these terms, the term post-mill came later.
Sure.
Right? There's views that post-mill holds to that go back to the early fathers, of course. But it's the actual framework is later. Mill is before post-mill.
Right.
You can't look at your mill brother and go, oh, okay, you're just stupid. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like whatever it is. Or dispensational. Dispensational is the newest one, besides full preterism, I think. But dispensational is new. However, we still don't look at those guys and say you're stupid. Like, dude, that's what
a lot of people do.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't.
Right.
Because that's what they know. That's what they were taught.
Yeah.
Of course that's what they're going to believe.
Right.
So why don't we just talk about it? Go, hey, like, have you considered another view? Oh, there's other views?
Right.
That's how it's going to go. Right. Yeah, let's talk about it. Here's the other views. What do you mean there's other views? Let me give you 2,000 years of history.
Right.
In like 5 minutes.
Right.
A little overview.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Give it to me. Right now.
Okay, in the beginning. There's just so much more to it. And to draw those hard lines, you know, very unhelpful.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 3:1-4 says, "And I, brethren, could not speak to you as to spiritual people, but as to carnal, as to babes in Christ. I fed you with milk and not with solid food. For until now you were not able to receive it, and even now you are still not able, for you are still carnal. For where there are envy, strife, and divisions among you, are you not carnal and behaving like mere men? For when one says, I am of Paul, and another says, I am of Apollos, are you not carnal?" When they draw those lines and they try to be divisive, schismatic, that's seen as carnal and immature in the faith. Romans 12:10, "Let love one another with brotherly affection, outdo one another in showing honor." Honor your brother that you disagree with.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that difference is, they're Calvinists, you're not. If you can't have unity with them, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
That's a you problem. It's not them.
Yeah.
And this goes back to either before we talked about this or later we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
You avoid it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually next.
Yeah.
Or the next one. Or the next one.
Yeah, I think this is very, maybe this is an old problem. It sounds like it is, right?
Yeah.
But I think you see it so much more. I would say go back to like since 2020.
Well, and because of social media too.
Yeah.
Just in general. So even since social media, but 2020, it like, dude, they put like the fire was there, but then they just like threw kerosene, a bunch of logs, like a bunch of grass and dry grass in there, and now it's a bonfire.
I mean, what? No, but I think people are like you've shown me like tweets and like the comments on, or I don't know what they call it on Twitter or
tweets.
X,
tweets,
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just like a level of like what happens is I think especially on social media, but even sometimes it's, you know, trickled into reality and actual face-to-face dialogue, is people lose sense of the humanity.
Yeah.
In the other person.
You're not talking to a brother anymore. You're talking to a computer.
Right.
You're talking to a user.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this person is in the same, maybe the same shoes as far as like you're another person made in the image of God. Okay. Let's treat them as such and let's have a healthy conversation.
Yeah.
Let's dialogue.
Just disagree well.
Yeah. It's okay to disagree.
Yeah. And but be good at it.
Yeah.
Cool. I hear your opinion. I just disagree with you. Here's why.
Yeah.
These are things that I just don't see the same way you do, and that's fine.
It's a lack of control over emotions.
It's exactly what it is.
You know what I mean?
Self-control.
You get you allow your emotions to overtake your, you know, I don't know, your self-control essentially.
Yeah. So some other ones, Psalm 133. Just read the whole thing. It's like 3 verses about unity with your brother. 1 Peter 1:22 as well are some good ones. Romans 14:1-4. Read the whole chapter. Law of love, loving your brother who's weaker and has a different conscience than you do. Mm-hmm. How do you love them? Mm-hmm. All right, next one, the lone scholar. This is a good one. It's a good one. He has the answer to every question, the solution to every problem. He resists authority, choosing rather to withdraw into solitude than submit to God-ordained authority. He needs no one and often has no one. He is exhausted with effort and swiftly sabotages any chance at resolution. Everyone else is doing it wrong, and though he knows he isn't perfect, he is pridefully content with his overcritical idleness. This renders him unteachable and therefore not rebukable. And this one I knew so well because I struggle with this one.
Sure.
Dude, I've been that lone wolf. That's smart. Like, looking for the perfect church.
Yeah.
Because
both of us.
Yeah. And the whole time I spent, years not at a church because I'm overcritical.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, even if you're looking for another church, you should still be at one.
Yeah. Be
in fellowship.
Sure.
Obey Hebrews 10. Don't forsake the assembly, And oftentimes, dude, reading It's Good to Be a Man, chapter 8.
Yeah.
Listen, people. If you're a man and you identify with this, buy It's Good to Be a Man. And when you get to chapter 8, call me.
Email us. Write us a letter. Fax us.
Send a bird with a letter. Okay? Because when I read it, it cut me to the core. Romans 12:16, live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Proverbs 3:5-8, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. Proverb 27:17, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. And Hebrews 13:17, obey those who rule over you and be submissive, for they watch out for your souls as those who must give account. Let them do so with joy and not with grief, for that would be unprofitable for you.
Dude, this is convicting for both of us.
I know
it is.
Yeah,
we're we both actually are joining.
About to be members. I was asked first, but yeah. Totally.
Yeah, whatever, dude. But we're both our families are, joining a church out here.
About to take our blood
members.
oath,
Yeah, right, dude. But it's that idea of like we both realize and know.
Well, we knew that.
We've known this.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
A lot of guilt.
Yes.
I felt a lot of guilt.
Yeah. We've both known that we need God. Like you and I are young bucks, okay? And we both acknowledge that we need older men who are wiser than us, who have been married longer than us, who have grown up kids and grandkids, or have just been in the faith and been more faithful over time,
and have authority from God over us in the church.
Just to be able to have someone like we've intentionally shared this podcast with our pastor. Well, actually, was it Dan? Dan shared it with him. Dan shared it with him. But
shout out to our boy Dan.
Yeah, but we wanted our pastor and the men at our church to be able to not just to, we don't want fanboys.
No, we want to be accountable.
We want to be accountable.
If we say something stupid, we want to slap.
Yeah, I want to be able to delete an episode. If
I do. We will
apologize.
We'll take it down.
So I think there's a lot of lone wolves out there that desire to be lone wolves out of pride. Yeah. They don't want someone to tell them that they're wrong in a specific area of doctrine or
even
life choices.
Even if your pastor's not super right,
okay,
he still has authority over you.
Yeah.
And so that's hard too, and you got to work that out. But don't go, I just disagree with my pastor on everything, so I can't listen to him. I can't give him any authority. Obviously, choose your pastor wisely. Like, don't just brashly choose one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on another episode.
We're going to talk about how to choose a church
at
some point, because that's really important.
Yeah.
Choose a faithful man of God and do not settle. But if you're at a position right now where there's not one around you, you still are called to be submissive according to Scripture.
Yeah.
So work that out.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much here. I'm just going to reference them. Oh, actually, no. We referenced them all. Let's go to the next one. Any more on that, Marshall? think we got two more. One, two. Oh, last two. Okay. Inwardly vague and outwardly specific. Okay. His focus is merely outward. He is blind to his own heart, but sees every problem with every other person. His problems become those around him, and his growth becomes dependent upon others. He rejects responsibility, and thus people become obstacles rather than opportunities for personal growth. His sins do not grieve him as much as others do. He often fails to discern his reputation rightly as well. This is a big one, man, because if the sins that grieve you the most are not your own, then you've already skipped a step. You know, it's easy to go out and see the problems in the world. It's easy to see sins in the community around you, but I find that in myself, first and foremost, I've done this where if you are focused on the sins of other people, you become the problem in your community. You become a divisive person. You actually become a gossiper. You become you turn people against other people. You kind of are sneaky about it. Yeah. A lot of things can happen out of this, but even when dealing with someone who's in some sin, if you don't first understand how depraved you are as a human, or where you come from, or your fantasies, your imaginations, your desires. If you're not honest about that, you're not going to be able to handle other people's sins well. You know, like the most holy man is the most repentant man, I would say. The man who shows the most character is the one who sees the most flaws in himself, you know. Read Psalm 51, the whole thing. David says, "Have mercy upon me, O God, according to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin, for I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. Against you and you only have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that you may be found just when you speak and blameless when you judge." And if you go to verse 17, he says, "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. These, O God, you will not despise." If you read Luke 18, 9 through 14, read about the man who goes to the tax collector and the Pharisee who go to pray in the temple. And the Pharisee, thank God I'm not like that tax collector. Yeah. Right? God, you've done a good work in me. Thankfully, I'm not like that. Tax collector can't even look his eyes up to heaven. Beats his breast. "Have mercy on me, sinner." And he says, one goes out justified, the other goes out condemned. Yeah. So that's the attitude. If you don't see you're a tax collector, repent. Right. Repent. You have to. And you need to pray to God to be able to see that you are a tax collector. Because you're like, no, I'm not a tax collector. Yes, you are. Yeah. I'm not a prostitute. Yes, you are. Yeah. I'm not a murderer. Yes, you are. Yeah. If you don't see that, you're skipping a step. You need to pray for God to take the veil away from your eyes so that you can see your own sin. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great, dude.
Any thoughts on that?
That's the gospel.
That's what the gospel is. Yeah.
That's literally the gospel.
Yeah, that's true. Anything else on that one?
No.
Are we ready for the last one?
Yeah, let's hit it.
The eighth woe.
Let's wrap it up.
The eighth woe to ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Flocks towards all forms of boldness. This one hits hard. Yeah. Likely raised without a father figure, he runs to and esteems highly those with the greatest display of boldness. His quest for raw masculinity and meaty truths lead him to edgy boys with spicy attitudes. He fails to discern boldness as a tool that is to be stewarded and applied rightly. Thus, he liberally flocks to unstable or unbalanced men. Wow.
Yeah. This was, I think, I would say most men in the post-2020 era, especially me. I remember I started listening to a podcast by the Hodge twins, and those dudes are funny.
They're too hardcore for me. They're so funny.
Yeah. But my point is the things that I'm not recommending them, by the way. They're pretty crude.
Yeah, that's why they're too much for me.
I don't know if they're believers or not, but they're comedians, but nonetheless they're boldly they're pretty bold, but also like with a flavor of humor.
Yeah.
And I was really listening to them a lot. 'Cause I mean, these guys are ripped. You know, they're like bodybuilder type.
Dude, they're masculine.
Yeah, they're masculine. They got beard products on their thing.
Great beards too.
They have great beards.
I'm jealous.
They're brothers, and so they have that sense of brotherhood. Anyways, so I'm like drawn to this, and I'm like, yeah, I need to listen to more men that are bold, right?
Yeah.
And that's led me to all sorts of like. I would also say like not all, boldness is not bad.
No.
Right. We're not saying boldness is bad. Mm-hmm. I would say there's lots of great forms of boldness you see in Scripture,
rightly applied.
Yeah. Look at all the prophets. look at Christ. Look at Paul. Look at Peter. You know, I would say. I've been drawn to a lot of pastors who are more bold.
Yeah, you love Steven Anderson.
Oh my goodness! Can't believe you just said that.
Listen, people.
No,
don't,
but do. for comedy.
It's for grieving.
Yeah,
and for the worst example of this. The most extreme example.
You're right. It's
Steven
actually not
Anderson.
comedic. It's actually
really sad.
It's comedic at first because you think
you're
it's
like, this is a parody.
Exactly. That's why it's comedic.
And you're like, oh no, this is.
And then you grieve and cry.
Yeah, for sure.
And pray.
For sure.
But I think I think we're drawn to boldness, and we're drawn to any hint of boldness, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we discern what is godly boldness versus, fleshly, worldly, misplaced boldness?
For sure. Yeah. And it's like, there's a time to be firm and there's a time to be gentle. Mm-hmm. And I think there's an inclination to say gentleness is bad. Mm-hmm. It's not true. The meek inherit the earth. That's what it says. Blessed are the meek. Jesus was very bold, but he was so mild when necessary. He was so gentle when necessary. Let me read a couple for you. 2 Corinthians 10, 1 through 2 says, I, Paul, myself, entreat you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ. I who am humble when face to face with you, but bold toward you when I am away. That was the charge against him. Mm-hmm. I beg of you that when I am present, I may not have to show boldness with such confidence as I count on showing against some who suspect us of walking according to the flesh. Mm. So he prays he doesn't have to be bold. And if he's bold, it's only to some. Mm-hmm. And Christ, the gentleness of Christ. Mm-hmm. So there's so much in that passage alone. He saw that there was a necessary boldness that had to be applied to certain people, and he didn't want to be bold. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not just liberal boldness. That's liberal.
Right.
It's not just hard all the time. It's not just aggressive all the time. Like, there's a time to be aggressive. There's a time to be gentle. And if you can't discern the difference, you need discernment.
I would also say you can be gentle and bold at the same time.
Yes. Bold with your words, gentle with your attitude.
Yes.
Like, your demeanor can be meek, but your words can be sharp.
Yes, absolutely.
Amen.
Like, I would say like a great example of this is Pastor Jeff Durbin.
Sometimes he's pretty fiery, but yes.
Sure. But I would say like when you see him like out in front of the abortion mills or talking to Mormons, he'll be having a very sincere conversation with like someone, but he's not pulling punches with his words.
No, he's not yelling at them. And then when the second they start inquiring, pastoral, gentle.
Right.
Yeah, brother, you can't be saved by your works. Like he's really pleading with them.
Totally.
Yeah. Amen.
And so for me, I
think Zach Morgan, is that his name?
Oh, from Apologetics.
That guy to me embodies it perfectly. Like, dude, he's just everybody's dad. Do you know what I mean? Like he talks to you like you're his child, and not in a bad way.
Listen to if you haven't checked out the podcast Provoked.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, he's just, I've heard him even like debate with someone on it. Like he brought an atheist on and had a conversation, and I'm like, dude, he is so gentle with him, but his words are truth. He does not compromise the truth. And that's the thing, is people compromise their words and their attitude rather than one.
Right.
Yeah.
Ephesians 4:1-3.
is a great one to reference, but I'm going to skip that for time and go to Matthew 11:28 through 30. It says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Jesus was the gentle shepherd to the sheep, but he was the vicious shepherd, the aggressive, deadly shepherd to the wolves. And that's the attitude we want. We are aggressive. We are a weapon against evil, but we are a welcomer. We are gentle to the good. Marshall, you got the promise for today?
I got the promise.
You got the promise. Dude. So would you call those the 8 woes of bad masculinity? I don't know what we're going to call this episode.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's
Wait.
Oh,
wait.
You got it?
Here we go. I knew it was. Hang on.
Yeah, those pages flipping is because he actually has a Bible.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, I memorized the whole thing, so I don't need it anymore. Just kidding.
Hebrews 2:18 says, "For since he himself was tempted in that which he has suffered, he is able to come to help those who are tempted." I know that may feel like it doesn't have anything to do with our topic.
Oh, I think it does. Tempted to be this way.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. I think Christ was the most masculine man.
Yes. Very masculine.
Do you know what I mean? And I think is
nice,
the most masculine
dude.
man.
Get him.
But anyways, I think that verse that's a promise that I think everyone needs to hold on to. But I think it's good. Just Christ was tempted in the same ways we all are, and the flesh that we have, the pride that we have, the the anger that maybe we have, or whatever it may be, the desires we have that are from our flesh, right? Yeah. Christ also was tempted, and so to know that like we need to look to his example, and to know that he is there to guide us, right?
Yeah.
And to help us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hebrews 2:18. That's the promise.
And he's able to help us.
Yeah.
It's not just that he wants to, or you should want him to. It's that he's able to. So
yeah.
if
he wants to.
if you struggle with these sins,
any sin.
Yeah, and as men, these sins specifically are very tempting to us. Like we're going to be tempted by them a lot, and women too. Like you can be tempted by these too. So if the shoe fits, don't just say it's too hard. Stop it. Get up and get to work. Like we need to move past this. We need to cry out to God for help. We need to be accountable to our wives and to our community. And you need men. You need men around you. Whoever you are, you need men to keep you accountable, to pray with you, to help you. I would say as a man, like we need men more than women. And that seems counterintuitive because we really love our wives. But if I don't have men to hold me accountable, I'm actually a bad husband. I need that in my life in order to really flourish in my marriage.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? So we need men. We can't do it on our own. We can't stay by ourselves.
No lone wolves.
No lone wolves. There's no such thing as a lone wolf in the kingdom. You're a sheep, which means you're part of a flock. So, Marshall, any last words?
Man, you always hit me with that.
Yeah, well, hey, we could die today, so.
No
last words, dude. That's dark. Okay. Well, hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. Go watch Shrek. Have a good day. Go be masculine. Be good masculine men.
Yep.
Amen. Peace.